Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am yours faithfully, Mobiri Regila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. 2023 APC will soon collapse, says Banire. Randy pastor forceful had sex with 19-year-old church member during deliverance. CSOs protest ritual killings, internet fraud in Ogun. Mob set trailer ablaze as driver kills 2 travelers in Ogun. Anxiety over increasing Boko Haram attacks in Abuja's neighbor, Niger. Anxiety as Lagos-bound Dana Air makes emergency landing. Gombe Primary School where pupils land in open field under trees. Plateau Court dissolves 7-year-old marriage over husband's desertion. Sudan sends delegation to Russia for talks on cooperation. That's from the foreign scene and sports. Ndidi should be Leicester City highest paid player, Fashanu, and Mutiu Adebodu Shinopela advocates sports to curb ritual killings. The news in detail. The former legal advisor of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Chief Moise Banire, has said structure of the ruling party would soon fall apart. Banire, who spoke on a radio station, stated that the conflict among members would make the party collapse. He lamented that the party, which ought to be controlled by its executive members, was being controlled and financially supported by state governors. The former ruling party legal advisor explained that he quitted his position and left the party because its executive members failed to adhere to rules and regulations. So the next story, men of the Ogun State Police Command have arrested a pastor, Matthew Oladapo, for allegedly having sex with a 19-year-old church member whose name was withheld. Oladapo, who is a pastor in charge of Life and Bible Church, Ogijo, was arrested after the victim reported the incident to the police at Ogijo Divisional Headquarters. The police spokesperson in the state, Abimbola Oyemi, made this known in a statement issued and made available to newsmen on Wednesday. Oyemi explained that the random pastor raped the victim in a room situated within the church premises on the pretense of making deliverance for her to overcome spiritual bondage, which will last for 3 days. The spokesperson added that when the deliverance process began, the pastor ordered the church member to be naked and lay down on a piece of cloth on the floor. Oyemi further explained after the victim had laid on the cloth, the pastor rubbed anointing oil on her body and inserted his finger into a private path. According to the spokesperson, when she protested, the pastor pinned her down, covered her mouth, and forcefully had sex with her. With the claim that it is the only way to break the bond between her and the spiritual husband. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police CP Larry Bankole has ordered the immediate transfer of the suspect to anti-human trafficking and child labor units of the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for further investigation and diligent prosecution. So another story again in Ogun State. A civil society organization, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, Ogun State Chapter, on Wednesday staged a protest over what it called incessant occurrence of ritual killings and internet fraud among the youth in the state. The CDHR, in coalition with Human Rights and Grassroots Development Society, called on concerned authorities to make effort to address the increase in ritual killings and internet fraud in the state. The group, which assembled at the Kuta on the bridge, moved round some places in Abeokuta and later marched to the governor's office of Kimoso, Abeokuta. The group, during the protest, carried placards with various inscriptions such as "Kidnapping is a crime," "Stop it now," "Security is our right," "Internet fraud destroys our pride," and "Shun ritual killing, protect human rights and prioritize security in Nigeria." The rights group decried that ritual killing, kidnapping, internet fraud, drug abuse, and other social vices are against humanity. They condemned the increase in social menace in the state, urging the government to rise to the occasion. Speaking at a campaign, one of the leaders, Yinka Folari, noted that the increase in ritual killings in the state is worrisome and therefore demanded an urgent need to act against it. So another troubling one, angry mob has set a truck ablaze for killing 2 travelers on Tuesday night at Moore Junction, Ashero, Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Platform Times gathered that the deceased persons were travelers flying the road through motorcycle, popularly known as Okada. The location where the deceased persons were traveling to could not be ascertained as at the time of filing this report. Eyewitness told Platform Times that the accidents occurred when the motorcyclist tried to maneuver the junction in between Ashero and car wash area of Abeokuta before the ram into a trailer. A reporter on ground learned that the trailer driver took to his heel when the angry youth attacked him. The police public relations officer in the state, Abimbola Oyemi, confirmed the incident. Oyemi, who said the accident occurred at Tuesday night at about 8 p.m., explained that the command has begun an investigation into the killing. He, however, noted that operatives of the Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps trace a deposited deceased body at the state hospital Ijaye morgue. He said the accident occurred at about 8 p.m. The police learned a trailer crushed two people traveling on an Okada at Mall Junction in Abeokuta. The mob, we heard, later set the trailer ablaze. We are already investigating the incident. To another almost tragic avoided scene, a Lagos-bound flight, Dana Flights 9J402, made an emergency landing in Abuja at 2:25 p.m. The fully loaded plane developed a yet-to-be ascertained problem leading to the emergency landing. The pilot was said to have announced mid-air that the flight could no longer continue for some obvious reasons. As of first time, the passengers were still in the aircraft waiting for an alternative flight. Moving from southwest to northeast, parents of pupils at the Wowe Community Primary School in Gombe State have threatened to boycott the 2023 general elections over the government's neglect of the school for many years. The school, which was established in 2000 with over 150 pupils, has no classrooms, toilet, or library. Pupils now learn on the trees and in the open field. To Plateau States, a Jos area court sitting in Nasarawa Gwang on Wednesday dissolved a 7-year-old marriage between Sumaya Mohammed and her husband, Bala Usman, on grounds of desertion. The judge, Ishaq Benjuma, in granting the request made by Mohammed, said all effort to reconcile the parties failed. The judge ordered the petitioner to refund 50,000 naira only to the respondent, being the dowry Usman paid by way of Kolu, the solution of the marriage bond at the instance of the wife according to Islamic law and procedure. Benjuma further granted the petitioner custody of their children. He, however, said that the respondent is allowed to visit the children at appropriate times of the day without any hindrance. Earlier, Mohammed pleaded with the court to dissolve her marriage, saying that her husband deserted her when she was ill and staying with her parents. Mohammed was accused Usman of failure to provide for the family for 3 years since she fell ill. Moving forward on the world news is the foreign story. A delegation of senior Sudanese officials, including the deputy leader of the country's military-led ruling body, headed to Russia on Wednesday for talks on cooperation, authorities said. Sudan has found itself increasingly isolated since an October 25th coup that has seen foreign aid courts as part of the international community's response to the military takeover. The Northeast African country had already been in the grip of a dire economic crisis before the coup and ensuring deadly crackdown on protesters calling for a return to civilian rule. The Sudanese delegation's visit to Moscow fell within the framework of exchanging views and discussing ways to develop and strengthen cooperation between Sudan and Russia, the ruling Sovereign Council said. The delegation, which also includes Finance Minister Gabriel Ibrahim, as well as senior energy and trade officials, would hold a series of talks with Russian counterparts during the visit, it said in a statement. Sudan has been grappling with deepening unrest since the coup led by Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the country's de facto leader since the 2019 ouster of autocrat Omar al-Bashir. Burhan chairs the Sovereign Council, which was reshuffled after the military takeover. And to sports story. Former Wimbledon star John Fashanu believes Nigeria international Wilfred Ndidi deserves to be Leicester City's highest earner following his contribution to the club since he joined from Genk in 2017, Punch Sport Extra reports. Ndidi has been an integral part of the Foxes and played a key role en route to the FA Cup victory last season, where they defeated Chelsea 1-0 at Wembley. The Nigerian international is currently in the 6th year at the King Power Stadium with 201 appearances in all competitions. The enhanced status of the midfielder, who is currently valued at 60 million euros, has made him one of the most sought-after players, with Manchester United and Aston Villa reportedly interested in securing service next season. Meanwhile, according to Football Insider, the Foxes are eager to agree to a new long-term contract with the player to ward off interest from his suitors. Indeed, he currently earns 75,000 euros a week, below what Johnny Evans, James Madison, and Kasper Schmeichel earn at the club. However, speaking with Punch Sport Extra, Fashanu believes indeed he should be the club's highest paid player. And to the next sports story that wraps the world news from BGI TV, former Super Eagles player Mutiu Adepoju and member of the House of Representatives representing Iseyin, Itesiwaju Kajola, and Iwajuwa Federal Constituency, Shino Pella, have advocated sport as instrument to lure the youth from crime, especially ritual killings to make money. The duo spoke in separate interviews with correspondent in Shaki on Tuesday evening after the opening match of the Pella Unity Cup organized for 20 under-21 teams from the 10 local government areas in Okeogun area of Oyo State. Iseyin City Football Club defeated Iwajuwa Diamond FC by 2-1 in the match played at OYSADEP Stadium. Pella said sport can be used to curb ritual killings, which is on the increase, especially among the youth. There is a saying that an idle mind is the idle's workshop. If the youths are engaged in competitions like this and they see future in what we are doing, they will redirect their energy and creativity into productive ventures. Former Nigerian players Dosu Joseph and Femi Obabumi attended the unveiling of the tournament kits and the press conference with Mutiu Adepoju today for this match. We have invited scouts to watch the matches. Mutiu Adepoju is an European recognized scout for football icon and is here to come and identify this talent. The Super Eagles midfielder, while speaking with correspondents on ground, also encouraged more investment in sport all across Nigeria. That was the world news from BGI TV. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. 2023 APC will soon collapse, says Banire. We also brought to you Randy Pastor had forceful sex with 19-year-old church member during deliverance. CSOs protests ritual killings, internet fraud in Ogun. We also brought to you mob sets trailer ablaze as driver kills 2 travelers in Ogun. Anxiety over increasing Boko Haram attacks in Abuja's neighbor, Niger. We also brought to you anxiety as Lagos-bound Dana Air makes emergency landing. Government Primary School where pupils learn in open field under trees. Plateau Court dissolves 7-year-old marriage over husband's desertion. And from the foreign scene, Sudan sends delegations to Russia for talks on cooperation. And from the sports, Ndidi should be Leicester City highest paid player, Fashanu, and second sports story, Mutiu Adepoju, Shino Pella advocates sports to curb ritual killings. Thank you for watching. For more updates of our stories and broadcasts on YouTube, the handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select the option all to enjoy all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like the page and follow to ensure you access our broadcast. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services and coverage of your event within and outside the States, the phone number streaming on your screen is the direct number to call. Thank you for watching. I am Mobire Rabila. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.